Hey everyone, this is Jeff from People Doing Stuff, and this is episode 1 of How I'm Changing My Life. And today's episode will be The Confession. So I wanted to give you a baseline for how I'm changing my life, and what I mean by that is I want you to know where I'm starting to give you an idea of where I hope to end up. So I'm 233 pounds and I'm only 5'7", so I'm short and fat. I've got very severe neck tension, and I get tension headaches all the time, and I feel like I'm constantly taking ibuprofen or Tylenol or something else to basically mask my symptoms. Here in China, it's really hard to have a healthy diet. Health food has to be cooked at home, has to be made by you. Restaurants fill your dishes with, 4 gallons of oil, like without exaggeration. Like you get a plate, it's like filled with oil with some food sitting on top. Like oil, you can't get away from cheap oils here. And sugar in tons of the food here. Sugar is everywhere. And of course it's China, so all they eat is white carbs like breads and rice. So yeah, health isn't really a focus here, and it makes it really hard to go out and find healthy food anywhere. You literally have to just make it yourself. So another thing you should know is I only work weekends, so I do have a lot of free time to make changes in my life, but for the last year or so I've spent pretty much all of that time playing video games, either on this or the PS4, you name it, first-person shooters, RPGs. I mean, I sunk so much time into Divinity. I mean, it just blows my mind how much my life has been wasted on video games. I mean, I don't know if you call it wasted. I mean, in the beginning I found them fun, I found them interesting. After a while it just became like, that's just what I did because that's what I'd been doing, even if I didn't find the enjoyment. I would just wake up, turn the system on. It was part of my routine to sit down and play these video games. And, well, it wasn't helping me in any way in retrospect to my life. I don't really go out very often. I spend all my time, here at home, playing with my daughter, playing video games mostly, or hanging out with my brother who lives a complex over, doing nothing but playing video games and wasting my life. So no real advantageous experiences have been going on. Like I mentioned before, I only work a couple days a week, so I have 5 days off, which leaves me a ton of time to start like all these different projects. What did I start? I started playing guitar. That lasted all of a week before the guitar went in the case and was never heard from again. I've got an ocarina. I think I played it twice for like 2 minutes. What else do I have? I got into magic for a little while. Started learning magic tricks and watching all kinds of magic YouTube videos. I ended up spending all my time watching magic YouTube videos and not actually learning the magic. I actually started doing YouTube, I don't know, a long time ago. And I'm not even an amateur, I'm a noob. So I didn't know what I was doing. I was just making videos and I was just putting them on YouTube, and that lasted all of a couple months. Made very few videos. A lot of videos I made never even made it to the internet. They're still sitting on my hard drives here. I bought all the equipment, everything I need to make decent YouTube videos, but I never spent the time to really learn how to use them, practice using them, make videos, practice editing, and just start dumping some content out there that was worthwhile. I thought I had all kinds of great ideas, I just never actually went through with any of them. Right now I'm probably at one of the most depressed states of my entire life. Now, when I was young I went through some serious bouts of like angry depression, but I was like getting stuff done, so at least I had some fulfillment. When I was young I was a go-to guy. I mean, I would just bust my ass. I mean, I worked really hard to make things happen when I was young. Something happened over the years and I got lazy, and this is the first time I'm feeling extremely depressed and extremely unfulfilled in my life. And I don't like it, so yeah. Another big issue I'm having is motivation. Like, I just don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like getting up off the couch and cleaning my dishes. I don't feel like getting up off the couch and using my jump rope. I just don't feel like doing anything. My self-control, I feel, is out the window. Like, there's just no self-control anymore. I've built up such a good habit of doing nothing that it's going to be a really big challenge for me to build up a habit to do something. And I welcome you guys to follow me on that journey. As you can see, I haven't used my workout equipment pretty much ever. Bought this thing online, put it in my garage for about a year and a half. Did nothing with it. Then I thought, well, if I'm not going to go to my garage and work out because it's actually a building over from here, then I would put it in my house. And I did that, and again, nothing happened. It just turned into a glorified coat rack for my daughter and my wife. So one thing I read, and I've read a lot of books now, is that you need to keep your work area very clean, very organized. The moment you start putting stuff on it and you don't take care of it, you're even less likely to stop using it. So I'm going to clean this area up today and try to make things happen. So one of the first things I wanted to do was figure out how I could have more self-control. After doing a lot of research and reading a lot of different books and skimming through a bunch of websites and wasting a lot of my time, I found that I just didn't really vibe with most self-help books. They all seemed like hocus pocus to me. However, I did start coming across some stuff about neurology. I don't know if you've ever read anything about neurology, but it seemed to click a little bit more with me. A couple books in particular that I really liked was Kelly McGonigal's The Willpower Instinct, and I think his name was John Rady, A User's Guide to the Brain. Well, both books just discussed a lot of different case studies and the things that they did, and the things that were actually proven to work to increase your willpower, increase your self-control. And I figure if I'm lazy and I'm not doing anything with my life, the first thing I need to learn how to do is how to get off the couch. So what I learned from these books that are pretty much solely based on neurology is that we have this thing in our brains called, well, it's not really in our brains, it's just part of us. It's called neuroplasticity, where we can change our brains pretty much every moment during every day. So pretty much how it works here is we have the frontal lobe or neocortex in the front of our brain, which is primarily in control of your motivation, your self-control. And with neuroplasticity, what happens is you need to grow that and make it stronger by doing something, by using it, just like any other muscle. That's how the brain works. The more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. So the less I sit on the couch, the better I'm going to be at not sitting on the couch. The problem I ran into is, how do I get up off the couch? Well, then I found that there's some simple exercises you can do that can work parts of your brain and make them stronger without actually doing the things that you need to do. Sounds a little crazy, but like, let's say you want to make the decision to get off your butt and lose weight. Well, something simple you could do that would increase your willpower in order to make that decision would be meditation. In order to get started, meditation will be key. So as far as my weight's concerned, one of the primary things I need to do is get stronger and get thinner and get more agile. I don't have a whole lot of space in this tiny little apartment I live in here in China, and I've already spent so much money on equipment that I've never used. I feel like my only route that's logical for me to move forward and approach is calisthenics. So I chose calisthenics, and to get started with that, I found some books and I picked them up. One of the books I picked up was Convict Conditioning by Paul Wade and Explosive Calisthenics by Paul Wade. Pretty interesting, pretty simple. I like how he breaks down exercises into like 10 steps or so, where you have like a micro exercise that builds up until like your end game exercise that you can't actually do right away. It gives you like a long-term goal and not just, hey, do this every day and then in 1 month do this every day. And so I found his books pretty interesting. I also came across a book called Street Workout by Al Cavadlo and I think it's Danny Cavadlo. I don't know if I'm saying these names right. I've never met these people, right? Anyways, another book completely on calisthenics that I read. It was quite interesting. I also came across a book called Complete Calisthenics by Ashley Calum. I'm not sure about her name. And I came across one called The Esquire's Guide to Bodyweight Training. And that was by Adam Schurston. Anyways, these are the books I chose. And none of them really seemed to be perfect. You know, one seemed like it worked most of your body, but skipped out like legs. One seemed to have like a huge focus on back and shoulders, but didn't really, you know, they all had like these different focuses. One would be focused on like just like movement and more explosive exercises versus strength building. So what I did is I went through them all, and I'm going to build my own routines based on all the books to hopefully fix this. And this shirt here, I actually wore this shirt on purpose because it doesn't fit me. So that way maybe in, I don't know, 6 months, a year from now, I'll rock this shirt again, and we'll see if I really made a difference. Another really important thing to losing weight, probably more important than the exercise, more important than the meditation, more important than pretty much anything when it comes to losing weight, is your diet. Now, a lot of people have strong feelings about diet. And the controversy online will make you want to punch yourself in the face over and over and over again. It is insane. Trying to figure out what you should really do. I mean, if you're not a nutrition specialist, I mean, it could be disastrous. I mean, you could follow some plan and it'd be disastrous for your health, but there'll be a million people online telling you that's what you should do. I don't even understand how there's so much misinformation about diet out there. Now, I'm not a dieteer, so that's making my life really difficult. So what I've decided to do, again, is read books. And I don't even know if the books I'm reading are the right books, but it's what I'm going to start with. I mean, you can only do what you can do. So I started with this book called Good Calories, Bad Calories by Gary Taubes, where he breaks down what I hope is the truth about what you eat, what you shouldn't eat, and what those different types of foods actually do inside your body. And Flying Balloon Shark. I also picked up Jason Fung's The Complete Guide to Fasting. Thought I would add some regular fasting intervals. I'm not going to be doing any of that 5-2 intermittent fasting stuff, but I do plan to periodically fast throughout my entire exercise experience. So I picked up that guide just to learn a little bit more about fasting, and then I came across something really interesting, and that was autophagy. And autophagy really just blew my mind. I had no idea this actually happened inside your body. There's a really good book on it by M.A. Haggett. Again, I don't know if I'm saying these names right, but basically what happens is your body starts eating itself, but it doesn't just eat itself. I mean, it eats everything that's wrong. It's eating white blood cells that have been taxed. It's eating old cells in order to bring in new cells. And this is one of your body's primary defenses for like getting rid of bad physical attributes within your body. Problem is, most people rarely, if ever, go into a state The problem is, people rarely go into a state of autophagy. I mean, because it requires either a very regimented diet or a long period of fasting, 24, 48 hours. It really depends on your body. I mean, I bought some, what do they call them? Ketone strips to test for ketone bodies in my pee. And I bought some other things to help me along the way to figure out how long I should fast in order to get into autophagy and stay in autophagy for the longest period of time comfortably, and then get back to my normal routines. So these are the things I've got going on in my head. If you've got some ideas for me and you put them in the comments below, I will definitely check out books, I will check out videos, I will check out websites, and there's a really good chance that the viewers out there who are more experienced, who are even watching this video, could actually contribute and help me get to where I need to be. So this is my little workout station. This is pretty much all I'm going to use to be getting healthy. That, and I bought a mat to put on the floor here, where I could do some rolls and push-ups and yoga, whatever it is I decide to do. So, this is episode 1, and this is the confession, this is my plan, this is the beginning of my plan to change my life, and hope you go on this journey with me.